What's up, guys? Barry Gaming here, back with some more Idle Heroes, and today we're gonna be doing an update to probably one of our favorite videos we've done on this. It is a tier list, yes, but it is a tier list that is very specific, because as you know, I really hate overall tier lists that just have every hero in the game in a list. This tier list is, of course, going to be the tier list to show who are the best heroes to build as your first E5. If you guys have not checked it out, make sure you go check out our free-to-play series, the one where we built Inosuke. We did amazing. We built him to E5, I think, within like 50, what was it, like 52 days, something like that. And then we got Sealand 20 done within 59 days. So yes, we built probably the best E5 hero possible, and we got him to Sealand 20 within 2 months. Of course, there were special events and some bonuses there, but today we're going to go over all the different options that you should consider for your first E5. So what we're going to do is pretty much go through these heroes from oldest to newest. We're going to place them where we believe they should belong and give you their pros and cons of each one of these heroes. In total, there are about 11 heroes that we're going to go over here. We have them from every faction. There's at least 2 from every faction that will be on this list as well. So let's start it off with the oldest of the heroes, and that is going to be Cthuga. So Cthuga is a solid older hero, very easy to get as far as copies go, but I place him in the B tier because, of course, he does a decent job early game, but he does fall off severely, and he does have anti-synergy with other heroes on your team that may burn or bleed, such as a Horace and Ithqua, any of those type heroes. It is bad synergy. He is a very good one, though. He's given in a lot of packages, plus he is now in the revised workshop, the guild store coming soon to the game. So that makes him very, very positive because it'll be much easier to get copies of him. Very good early game in PvP and a lot of things like tower, but he's very bad in PvE, such as broken spaces, guild bosses, things like that. So while he can get you solo as a solo E5, he can get you to like 15, 16, 17, somewhere in that ballpark. In order to get Sealand 20 done with him, you of course need him to be like V3, V4 with an upgraded artifact. Basically, Sealand 20 is my benchmark to say how fast you can get to Sealand 20. Well, that means how good you are. And he is decent at least. Next up is going to be Horace. Horace is definitely going to the S tier. He is probably one of the easiest heroes to get copies of early game. He is really good at PvE damage that'll help you win guild bosses early on. And with the help of a lot of baby ticks, he can get Sealand 20 done with very minimal enables and just a basic fearless armor or plate of courageous for whatever time frame you guys are from. You guys know it as both of those. He is very, very good. He does lack in PvP though, which is one reason why he's not S+, but he can definitely get Sealand 20 done. You will need a maxed out pet. You will need some tick support heroes, but it can be done. If you get a lot of void imprints like V3+, then he can do it with next to no support. But again, when we're talking about getting to Sealand 20 fast, he can get you there, but not as fast as some other heroes. Another one that is going in the S tier with him is going to be Penny. So Penny was a frustrating hero. I think we all know that. She has to crit in order to do damage. She is really good in early game PvP, and she is decent in PvE. She also does great things in Aspen Dungeon. One thing to note, all 3 of these heroes that you've seen so far can get you to Death 1 very easily, so that is a nice benchmark. But when it does come to clearing Sealand 20, she's going to need a lot of support to go along with her if she doesn't have V3+. So I feel like most people can get V1, maybe even V2 within the first couple of months of having your E5. And that's kind of where you want to try to hit your Sealand 20. That way you're generating so much more 4-star food. I do believe she is still up there though, because she even proved to us that at very high void imprints, she can actually help you in hell, or no, sorry, not hell, death 50+ as well. So that is a really, really nice perk. Next up is going to be Garuda. So Garuda's been one of those heroes that has stuck around the meta for a long time. She's now finally falling off with different heroes being stronger, but she is still a great candidate for your first E5. All 4 of these heroes are going to be very easily accessible as far as getting copies. She's going to be the best one out of these in PvP. She's also going to survive the longest as far as longevity on your account. She will last you into the late game. She's very, very strong at PvE damage. She's really good at PvP. She does, however, lack at getting to Sealand 20 by herself with very limited support heroes and not very high void enables. She's probably going to get you to that like Sealand 17, 18 number. Of course, you've seen on this channel, if you do have V3 plus or V4, she can essentially solo Sealand 20. It doesn't matter what heroes are with her. She's very, very good, but overall, very solid hero. Next up is one that I struggle with a lot in placing, and that is Delacium. So Delacium is a very, very good first E5, but typically if you're building a Delacium, you're also thinking, maybe I should building a Delacium army with an Ithqua for PvE damage. Well, you don't really need your Delaciums at E5. You only need them at 10 star, but they are very, very good. Like, very, very good. He's a good first E5. He can even get Sealand 20 done as a 10 star, which is something crazy. Of course, you're going to need a bunch of Cruce and things like that to support him, but I believe Idle Doiler is one of the ones that literally did a 10 star Delacium clear. Granted, that took like 500 plus attempts, but when the RNG lines up, he can do it. He can get you to death 1. We've done it on one of our accounts as well, so that's a good thing. He is okay in PvE, but he only starts shining in PvE when he has a strong burn or bleed hero, such as Ithqua by his side. As far as PvP goes, he's not going to do that well. Overall, solid hero. I would place him higher, but the fact that you don't really want to make him your first E5, you'd rather choose this girl instead as your first E5. Ithqua. So Ithqua I struggle with a little bit here. She's very good, but she requires a ton of support to get Sealand 20 done. I'm half the time tempted to put her down into the A tier, but I know if I do that, everybody's just going to yell at me. Everybody kind of knows I'm also an Ithqua hater. I'm not a big fan of the hero. I think she's overrated. And her only real use is straight up PvE damage, especially in conjunction with that Delacium. In order for her to get Sealand 20 done, you are going to need a lot of support around her. You're going to need a ton of baby ticks, same as Horace, but then you're also most likely going to need an upgraded artifact or very high void imprints. Not very high, 2+ at the very least. She is very good in the Void Arc bosses now. So in levels 4, 5, and 6, if you have a candy bar on her, she can do tons of damage to that boss that only lasts for 6 rounds. Very good candidate. I would definitely consider it. But one thing you can kind of look at is you can see how a hero like Inosuke does versus an Ithqua in our free-to-play series. While they both do very strong, very early on, before E5 and before you have the exact maxed out pet and everything, Ithqua is leagues behind Inosuke. But again, very solid hero, and I think sometimes it's a little unfair to compare her to Inosuke. Next up is Sherlock. So, Sherlock I'm actually going to put at the A tier. Am I? Do I bump him down to the B tier? You know what? I'm bumping him down to B tier, mainly because early game you need a hero that can actually do some damage in PvE, and he doesn't quite do that. Will he do Tower of Oblivion well? Yes, he will. Will he do Aspen Dungeon well? Yes, he will. He will get you to Death 1 with extreme ease. The problem he has is he just doesn't do PvE damage, but what he can do is Sealand 20 if you can get an upgraded Punisher Staff. He doesn't even really need Void Imprints, or very minimal. The biggest hurdle for him is needing at least a glittery Punisher Staff, because with all those swaps that he can do, with health swaps, with the doves he has, and with his crit chance doing extra damage, that can add up really fast. And the one thing I can say out of this entire list so far, Inosuke is the god tier hero when it comes to late game PvP. Sherlock is did I say I'm pretty sure I said Sherlock. Okay. Sherlock definitely is the best hero on this list when it comes to the endgame PvP meta. He is on par with some of the Transcendence heroes. That's how strong he is right now. I would consider building him, but the one big downside is you're not going to be doing any damage in your guild bosses, which means your guild coins are going to be very lacking. Broken spaces is going to be very difficult as well. If he did better PvE damage, I would probably be tempted to put him much higher in the list. But as is, I would say he's right around there. Next up, we do have Ticks. Yes, Ticks as a first E5. Copies are a little bit harder to get, but with the correct imprints and artifacts and things like that, he can get Sealand 20 done. Is he S tier? Because one thing he does lack is PvE damage in the early game, and that's what all the other heroes have. I'm going to bump him down to the A tier. So he is very, very good. He can now do solo Sealand 20 by himself with very minimal support. Essentially what a Tix needs to get Sealand 20 done is a 1-star upgraded Kiss of Ghost. That way he heals, and then he just needs 5 other heroes around him that can CC the enemies and let him ramp up his damage and get going. He can be very good early game PvP. Now, PvE, he is not the best of heroes, which is another reason why I kind of want to bump him down to A. But his kit is very good. He is by far the best non-Transcendence hero in Aspen Dungeon. He is 100% required in pretty much all the Vortex game modes. So Tix would be that one hero that even if you don't have as good of a start, you're on a good pace to be set up for other game modes in the future. Tower of Oblivion, he is by far the best hero as well. So when you can say he's the best hero in Tower of Oblivion, Vortex, and Aspen Dungeon, while also having a way to get Sealand 20 done, definitely a good pickup. Next up, though, is someone that is near impossible to compare as a first E5 hero, and that is S+ Inosuke. You've seen it in the free-to-play series, literally getting Sealand 20 done with very minimal setup. So just so you guys know, we probably had about 400,000 Stellar Shards invested into him, which is about halfway to V2, somewhere in that ballpark. We had a pet. We had a Phoenix pet that only had 40 runes in the attack node. We had 0 in the health rune and 0 in the speed rune. Of course, it did help having a 9-star Sherlock along with him, but let's be honest, none of these heroes here can do anything without a maxed out pet, whereas Inosuke does have a path to get that Sealand 20 done. He does very, very good PvE damage. We're number 1 on every single guild boss on the whole way up to all 60 bosses and getting Flame Shrine unlocked. He's very solid in PvP early game as well. Now, are heroes like Garuda and Tix better? Yes. Sherlock probably even as well. But Inosuke also has a good use in tower. He gets very good progress. Pretty much everything on our free-to-play account, we are in the top 5 of our server competing with whales with this Inosuke. It's kind of crazy. He also has uses in the Void to, of course, push in Realm's Gate. Late game, of course, though, when it comes to PvP and PvE, he does fall off. But as far as the power level of a first E5 hero, I don't even think any of these heroes even come close. Now, the last two are a little bit of a drop-off for us. We do have Flora, one of the newest forest heroes. We are building around the Twine Mean team. You guys are getting a good look of what it looks like with a full maxed out pet against Sealand. We have multiples. We have Oberons. She just lacks in a lot of areas. She's a very niche hero. She can do decent in, of course, Aspen Dungeon. You've seen her. We can probably get to Death 50 with her, which will be pretty cool. But as far as PvE damage, it is lacking. When it comes to Sealand progress, it is lacking as well. And I will say pretty much the same thing is happening with Marax, one of the newest Abyss heroes. He can do pretty solid damage overall. Not amazing in PvE, definitely not a PvP hero, but as you've seen on the Burn Meme team, he can do pretty decent. He is going to need some cruise support around him. He's going to need a pretty much maxed out pet as well. But he can get you to Death 1 as well in Aspen Dungeon. It is a little bit of a struggle. I would say out of all the heroes on this list, Marax probably has the hardest time getting to Death 1. But every hero on this list will get you to Death 1 and will eventually get you a semi-quick Sealand 20. So hopefully this helps you guys out. If I missed a hero, please let me know. I tried to make sure I thought of every hero that would be good. I didn't want to put any light and dark heroes, of course, because I mean, that's just not reasonable. It just isn't. So let me know what you guys think. Hopefully you guys enjoy this. Hopefully it helps you guys out. Let me know what you want to see in the future, and I'll see you guys next time.